So let me tell you sort of where we're going today. Hopefully you've seen our posts on social media. Today is the Sunday that we want to do this every year, and it is the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and it is called Story Sunday. And today you are going to hear the stories of brokenness and hopelessness and redemption, and how God has a way of just taking all of our mess and putting it back together. So I've got several people that are going to come and join me on stage. And would you welcome all these people as they come for Story Sunday today at the Bridge? Well, it's the last time. Last one here. Everybody good? So I'll introduce them sort of as we go through and interview and ask questions. We're going to start with Nathaniel up here. So Nathaniel, tell us about growing up. Tell us what life was like for you growing up.
I was part of the family that didn't grow up in church, but we did attend church, but it was normally like a Christmas Eve service. Didn't get involved with the churches all at a young age. And at the age of 7, my parents split up, got divorced. At the age of 9, I was physically and sexually abused. At the age of 12, my father passed away with a brain aneurysm. It's when like a major blood vessel pops in your brain, and it's pretty quick. He was pretty much instantly dead. And throughout the course of high school, I got involved in sexual impurity, partying, drugs, lifestyle, hardcore drugs. Went from trying Molly, acid, Xanax, ecstasy, Percocets, cocaine. I was on a streak. Seemed like I was always chasing the next best high. And over the course of that time, I was just lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to put my hope in. And it was just rough, but God got me out of it at some point. So,
Lost a scholarship, right?
oh yes, and I lost a scholarship. I played high school football all 4 years. I had chances to play D1, D2 level in AIA, JUCO schools, like wherever, and got in an incident involved with marijuana. Went to a basketball game, got caught, sent to MAP, full semester, and pretty much lost all hope of going to play college football.
Jill, your upbringing was a little bit different, so tell us about yours.
Yes, I was the typical, we went to church every Sunday and every Wednesday, and were involved in every youth activity, whether it be at the church, like after service, or camps and advances and different things. We went to revivals, and if the church doors were open, we were there.
So Tommy is married to Jill right here. So Tommy, tell us about, if you would, what's the Bridge Fellowship meant to you?
The Bridge showed me that it's not about the legality. It's not about the perfection of being a Christian. It's not about logistics. I kind of grew up in a household that there was, Christ was there, but it wasn't a lifestyle. And the Bridge has shown me that it's a relationship. It doesn't matter where you come from or where you're going. It's about the relationship that you build with Christ.
Alexis, Alexis, a senior at Cumberland.
I am, yes, sir.
And struggling through your last year of college,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's very hard, very stressful.
Plus works a part-time job in a law office, right?
I do.
And so when you came to the Bridge, what were you looking for?
I was looking to reconnect my faith with God and get closer with Him. I've been dealing with some health issues for the past a little bit over 2 years, and it has been a real struggle for me. But I know that since I've been coming here, the support system that I have around me, my family and friends, and just God, I know that He has a treatment plan for me, and He will help me through it. No matter what you're going through in life or what you get brought into, just always have faith, guys. Never give up, because He will never fail you.
Amen. Christian, your religious background's a little bit different.
So we're in the third service. I sit in the back, and there's still no theme music when I walked in.
I know that was on purpose.
So my religious background, let's see. So 3 days after I was born, I was baptized. Growing up, my mother raised me, so every Sunday and Wednesday we went to church. Didn't really have a relationship with God. I knew how to go through the motions. I could be half asleep and know when to kneel, bend, stand. I learned at an early age that I could do whatever I wanted through the week and then just go to confession, tell the priest, and all was good.
So then, once you get out of high school and you go into the service.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I get out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps. Spent some time in the Marine Corps. Got out, was a glutton, went into the Army after that, see what that was about. Yep.
And it was really during that time of the military that really you began to question just even the existence of God. Is that right?
Yes. Tragedy, death,
Okay.
lifestyle.
You get out of the Marines. You get married to Angela. And once you get married to Angela, you eventually come to the bridge. Now, so talk to us about, because it's really a good point here, what was it that you told God that you were not going to do even before you came to the bridge and then after you came to the bridge?
So I get out of the service. I moved to Tennessee, met my now wife about 25 years ago. And she's pretty steadfast, strong in her faith. I knew God existed. I just kind of denied, I'm not going back to church. I'm not doing that. I really don't need you. I mean, why would you let all these things, war, just all these things in the world happen? And so I told my wife, I'm not going to church. Well, if you want to stay married, you don't tell your wife what you're not going to do. So we jumped around. So we got married in the Catholic Church because I figured that's what my mom would want, and that's kind of what I believed. We started going to church there, or Mass every Sunday. And as we got older, her knees got weak from all the bending, I think. And so she said, we need to go somewhere else. So we looked around, we jumped around a little bit. We came to the bridge. The Dixners invited us. I said, I'm not really into that church thing, so I'm not going to go. Here I am. I get here and I'm like, he's preaching on serving. I'm not doing that. I've not had a Sunday off in about 7 months from security. Definitely not doing the life group thing because people there probably, put on a facade. And so every Wednesday I now look forward to going to the life group. And then I decided when I got out of the military that I would never kneel or bend to anyone again. And his service happening, I think Hux, whom I am trying to get his job to sing, but he was singing a song one day and something came over me and it just brought me to my knees in service. And I see you guys raise your hand a lot. I don't really know what that's about. I now do, that it's the Spirit moving in you, but I never see anyone kneel before God. And he was telling me that day, you will bend and you will kneel before me again. Wow. And I did.
Wow. So go to my man Jace over here. Jace, what happened in your life since you came to Bridges? And tell us just about your upbringing as well.
So I was brought up in a Christian family. Both of my parents were as well. My papa on my mom's side, he's a preacher. So my mom was raised in church. My dad was raised to keep his faith a little more private than my mom was, but he does what my mom tells him now. So, yeah, we started off, we went to church, and we're a really busy family, so we don't always get to come, I guess. But so we were bouncing around churches, I guess, at that point, and we found a home at a church in Mount Juliet. We really loved it there. We loved the worship, loved the message, and then the pastor ended up leaving there. So we then again didn't really have a church home, so we kept bouncing around. And one day I spent the night with my friend Dylan, and he invited me to the bridge. So we came to the bridge. I guess I came to the bridge with them, and I felt at home. I don't know what came up through me, but I felt like I needed to be here and like I needed to be a part of what was going on here. Yeah.
So, and Mackenzie, what was it that kept you from coming to the bridge?
Well, since I was about 16, I've struggled with depression. I have anxiety. The past year, I've been diagnosed with an eating disorder, and I felt very lost. And I'm on this journey right now because I've graduated high school. I took a year off from college. I'll be 20 in January, and I'm on this journey of trying to be better and get my life together. And so I've decided to come back to church, and first day I walked in, I started bawling my eyes out, like, I'm going to come back here every Sunday. Like, at one point, Sunday morning was the best part of my week, because I was like, I get to go. I'm so excited. Like, I feel so much joy, so much hope, and so I came, and yeah.
Tell us, how does, when you talk about the things that you struggle with, and I think the thing is that we all need to understand here is that so many times in church we don't ever, and here we talk about we're all messed up. But yeah, the thing is that society has told us that if you've got something going on in your life, whether it's depression or anger or anxiety, just don't tell anybody. So go back to you, Mackenzie. What was it about the secrecy of that kept you from church?
Well, I just felt, like you always, like I had to leave. I went to public high school, like I had to leave just because I felt so like ashamed, and so like I must be crazy, like no one else is going through this. So I went to online school. I only made it 2 weeks into junior year, and then got to be homeschooled. So I did that for the junior and senior year, and yeah, I just felt alone. Like that's, I just want people to realize you're not alone. There's so many people that go through it, and that's the worst thing about depression and anxiety is it makes you think you're by yourself. You don't have anyone that cares about you, even though like I know I have all my friends here today here to support me, but sometimes, I still feel like I'm alone. I don't have anybody there for me.
Thanks for sharing. And so we'll go back to Jill. What did you find once you came to the bridge?
I found that it didn't matter how many times or how many days you're at church. It has nothing to do with the building. It has nothing to do with how many times other people see you there. It has more to do with what's in your heart. And if God's in your heart and you are a Christ follower and you feel that's what matters. It matters is that if you have that relationship with Him, and that is the joy of God.
So walk us back when, as you were growing up, you went to camp, and that story about when your friend decided to get baptized, what happened to you, but then also, if you would also include what happened to you once you came to the bridge and God began to deal with your heart about all that.
When I was younger, we did camps, kind of like a Toma, but like week camps. Well, kind of like y'all's, I guess it's Chattanooga. Is that where they go? Yeah. Chattanooga's camps. But we, the girl that I bunked with woke up one night and she was just in tears and she just knew she wanted to get baptized. Well, I, being the nosy little girl I was, was like, oh, I want to see what's going on and what this whole baptism thing was about. So we went to our counselor and talked to her, and they set up to where she was going to get baptized. And I was like, oh, I want to go too. I want to be baptized too. I want what she has. I didn't feel it. It wasn't my time. I did do it though. I went through the waters and got baptized, and things changed for a little bit, but it wasn't, I was in anywhere between 10 and 12. It was just, I didn't feel it. There was no feeling of anything really changed deep. Later down the road, of course, way down the road, Tommy and I started going to the church, to the bridge, after some friends invited us to come to the bridge. And he decided, and then I decided that I wanted to redo my commitment to God. Like, there was just something about the bridge. There was something about the people here. There was something about the realness and the joy in this place that made it so much more of a family atmosphere and so much more of something that was, it was just real. And so I got rebaptized at our the Charlie Daniels 10-year anniversary thing.
Okay. So you become a Christ follower once you come to
Yes.
the bridge, and then you go through baptism.
Yes.
So, Nathaniel, we'll go back to you. So what's happened in your life since you started coming back to the bridge, and tell us about last Easter for us.
My life now has just completely changed. God is so great. Like, that's one thing I want to put out there, is that God is so great, and He delivers us all the time. To realize that the lifestyle I used to live, there was no life in it. The only life that we have is in Christ, so you're either a slave to sin or you're a slave to Christ. And one thing that I've learned coming here to the bridge, and one thing that I enjoy about it, is that it's just, everything that everyone talks about. It's a family, it's community, it's everything. Like, I've learned to just be more outgoing and intentional about building relationships, about talking to people. I've learned that there's power in Scripture. The Word, the living revelation of God is just so amazing to read and to just see how God worked throughout people's lives throughout His time here on earth through Jesus, and just the ability to know all of that now and to just continue to be increased in God's knowledge, and then to go through baptism. I got saved 2 weeks before Easter this year. And I decided to go through the waters of baptism that Easter, and I could just feel the pressure of Satan just on me. Like, I could feel him wanting me to turn away, to say no, to make a decision ultimately on my own, to just basically say no to God. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I had a group of friends that were around me that prayed that day, and it was a life-changing experience. Baptism is, I loved it.
Amen. So, pass the mic there to Christian. Christian, how has your life group impacted your life?
So Darian and Kristen are here. We could just stop and start telling jokes. We won't get in trouble.
No.
No. All right. So we started going to life group, and I was a little nervous about it because every time I was ever around church people, I guess you call it, I was uncomfortable. I felt like I couldn't just be me, because I'm quite honest about everything I say. I really don't have a filter. It has been checked by a doctor. I really don't.
We know.
And so I say what's on my mind. If you're wearing something you shouldn't, I'll tell you, ladies. So anyway, what was the question again? Oh, yeah. So I start going to life group, and I realized quick that I'm pretty messed up, but wow, there are people like Phil in my life group that are even more messed up. Phil really is in my life group, and if I let you guys listen to some of the voicemails on my phone, wow. Anyway, so we start meeting, and I start asking the hard questions, and I'm not getting the bull crap answers, I guess is the better way to say it, right? I'm not getting those answers. If they didn't know, they were helping me find it out. and they were being totally honest and open with me. And it's the first time I felt a connection to, I guess, guys outside of the military in that group. So I started asking these questions, and one of them was, what is being saved? Because I really don't know much about that in the faith that I grew up in. They didn't talk about being saved. You didn't need to be saved. So I started asking, and I'm trying to understand it. And I'm like, at first I dismiss it, and later on I'm more curious about it. And when Phil does show up to Life Group, he explained it pretty well, what it was. And I thought, well, I kind of want to be a part of that, because I'm starting to feel a relationship with people and God. And I want more of a relationship with God. So the weeks go by. I asked to be saved. Phil asked Mike Kurtz. How many people know Mike Kurtz? He's messed up too. So Phil asked him to pray over me. It was more of, I guess because he was praying for someone to be saved for the first time, he felt like it needed to be long. And he wanted to cover all his bases. So I left there saved, also a dog catcher, assistant commissioner for his district. I mean, he was covering it all. So I was saved, and then in my faith, you're only baptized once. In the Catholic Church, you're baptized once at birth, typically there soon after. And I was, again, saying, well, that's something I'll never do. I don't need to do that. And I was called one day and just walked to the back and got in line, and I was baptized here at the bridge. So,
Amen.
again.
Alexis, how has God impacted your life since you've been here?
Well, I got baptized back in January, and ever since then, my life has just been a complete 360. I learned a lot of things from my past and everything, and He's just always there for me and always helps, not even me, but everybody in this room. He helps all of us out. If you think that He doesn't, He is. He's continued to work in you, and just have faith, and He's great.
So, Mackenzie, December 16th, what happens to you?
I'll be here at the bridge, and I'm getting baptized. So.
So, let's go back and so we can capture the whole thing about the secrecy of everything you went through. Why is baptism so important for you?
I don't want to hide my faith in secrecy. I just want, want to show that like I'm in love with God, and I want to show my faith and how much it's helped me so much, and how much hope and joy it's given me. And I want to share that with people. I want people to feel how great I have felt since I started coming here and really started learning more and reconnecting with God.
Jace, what's happened in your life, even in your family's life, since you've been coming to the bridge?
So I left out a part. I got baptized by my papa when I was 6 or 7 years old. I didn't really know what was going on, I guess. I love Jesus. I knew I was supposed to love Jesus. I knew that was supposed to be part of my life. But like I said, I was invited to the bridge. I invited my family, and we started coming for like 6 months, I think. And then we went to Atoma. I got invited to Atoma, and I think it was late night, the first night of Atoma, I just fell in love with Jesus. I don't know a better way to put it. I felt overwhelmed, like all these guys around me that like support me, and all the guys that they love Jesus too, like really holding me accountable and all that. And then I get home and I see it not only change me. I gave my life at Atoma, gave my life to Jesus, and I came back home and I got baptized that Easter. But I didn't only see a change in me. I saw a change in the people around me. Like I would walk into my sister's room and she's sitting there reading her Bible. I would walk out and see my mom studying her devotional, whatever, and my dad will send me like a Christian text message or something saying, "I love you, bud. Have a good day." Like, I didn't see that before. It was like God was just screaming at me like, "You're on the right track. Like, this is what you need to do." So the bridge, it really opened up my eyes. Like, I finally saw Jesus moving in my life after I had accepted that.
So most people, I think, look at you and go, what kind of problems does he have? Do you have any problems?
I have problems, yes. No, I haven't. We haven't lived as much life as these guys, but we do struggle with things, and I know all teens struggle with things. It's peer pressure for sure. I struggle with my attitude towards my mom, towards my sister all the time. I struggle with my attitude towards my sister. It's hard. But sometimes we struggle to fit in as well. Girls and guys do also. So with guys, sometimes we don't want to share our faith about Jesus, whatever, because we don't think it's cool. But our God is cool, guys. Like He saves us. He saved us all. It just blows my mind. But yeah, all that really just changed my life.
Wow. Tommy, you became a Christ follower, but then you talk about there was another pivotal decision in your life. Share that with us.
Yeah, as I said, I spent the majority of my life, I guess, through pride and thinking I'm smarter than everybody else, denying God and not letting Him work in my life. But through some lifetime friends that he continued to put in my life, He kept introducing Himself to me, which brought me to the bridge. Through an invite, through a friend I've had for about 30 years, Jill and I started going to church here. Then I started standing in the back of the room and totally still denying God and not accepting His invitation for salvation and thinking of every reason in the world I could find of not to do that. So at that point, I guess as Christian was saying, I finally did kneel and I accepted Christ. And Jill and I were baptized, and I struggled with that still, to make that decision, to walk through that. And there's probably somebody in this room that's having that same struggle and having those same thoughts. And it's probably a man, because women are smarter than we are. But the life change that I've had since then, he was getting me ready for something the whole time. After I was baptized, we were involved in a life group, and then Jill said, "Well, we're going to go to another life group, and you're going to lead it." And I said, "Okay." So we're leading a life group now. And lo and behold, we had another gentleman in our life group that he was asking a lot of the same questions of me that I can remember asking. A lot of the same insecurities, the same unsureties that I had. And through he and I talking about that, and us all talking about it as a group, as a matter of fact, he looked at me one night and said, I'd like you to baptize me, which at that point I had to call Jim Johnson, because I didn't know if I needed a certificate or a 4-hour class or something to show that I was qualified for that. But I was qualified already, and he gave his life to Christ and was baptized, and we made that happen. And I think that's a testament of what the bridge does, the fellowship that's here, and it all started with God keeping people in my life through a lifetime that continued to introduce me to Him and brought me here.
So go to Nathaniel here. So Nathaniel, did some...
Phil. Hold on. I'm gonna preach for a second, okay? So we all know that you've been invited by a friend, or you heard from a family member or something. Somehow, some way, God brought you here. Somehow, some way, God's going to bring more people here. I just want to encourage everyone to invite a friend or a family member or a close person out to the bridge for our new series that we start in Christmas time. Around Christmas time is a Christmas series. And it may be difficult to just reach out to somebody. I know putting your putting your neck out there and just saying, hey, like, come check it out. But you're planting a seed. That's all it is. Like, God's going to do the watering. If they don't show up, it's fine. Just pour into them, love into people, and just invite somebody and see where it goes. So,
Anybody else want to share something?
Like Nathaniel said, we all were invited, right? So invite people. Tell people to come to church. We're not all, well, I guess none of us are perfect. Yeah, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. Not all of us make as many mistakes as Christian, but we. But we all do make mistakes. So yes, bring a friend. Okay, we all need to witness that. I was at church camp, the last church camp that we had, and I witnessed life change. There was a kid. He showed up and he did not believe in God at all. He didn't want anything to do with it. His parents didn't either. And by the end of that camp, he was raising his hands in the back of service, and he became a Christ follower that night. So bring a friend. It'll change their life and also change yours.
Anybody else want to share? Yeah. He says, I'll take this on the road. No, not if you're coming. I'm not on the road. So, yeah. Anybody else? Alexis, I want to ask you a question. There's a group of girls back there, and I think who was the first one that was sort of part? Was it you or was it Abby, wasn't it?
It was
Ashley?
Yes.
So,
Sitting.
all right, so there's a whole group of girls back there. So tell us what it does to you knowing that Mackenzie has become a Christ follower. And the part, I don't even think she shared this, but she came to know Christ the first Sunday she showed up here. And now she goes through the waters of baptism December 16th. What does that do to you as an individual knowing that I had a part in that?
It makes my heart really happy. It warms my heart, and just being able to know that I'll be able to be here to witness that, it just makes me even more happier. And I'm the type of person that will stay on your butt to be able to get you to come to church, and that's all of them sitting over there. You can even ask them. I will blow up your phone and encourage you to come. Hello?
You're good. It's on.
Okay. And yeah, it just makes my heart really happy and just really loving to be able to know that my friends, or actually, I don't know if, I think Ashley over there is going to go through the waters of baptism too, but it just makes my heart really happy to know that they're sending their life to Christ and building up their faith about it.
I want Jill to share, if you'll give Jill, because you've seen this happen, and right now it's really playing out in your own personal life. Why is it so important to be just a person, just to engage in somebody's life, and then to invite them to church?
You just don't want to miss your opportunity. I do have personal stuff going on, but with friends and stuff, but you don't know if that person, it could be a friend, it could be a total stranger, it could be a family member, it could be the checkout person at the grocery store that looks like, gosh, I hate being here and I hate my job. You know what? Encourage them, be their light, invite them to church, tell them about how awesome it is, how we laugh every Sunday at something, you know. But open that door, plant that seed, make sure somebody knows who God is. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear take over, because you could be that stepping stone for that person to meet God, because none of us know what tomorrow has. And as young or as old as any of us are, we're not guaranteed anything. But there is one guarantee that we do have, is that if you have gone through the waters of baptism, if you have welcomed Christ in your heart, and you were not perfect, but if you tried to live like Christ, He's making our home as we speak. He is preparing our place. I mean, as much as that sounds mythical, it's not. It is real. It is as real as any of us sit here in these chairs, giving our testimonies, it is real. And it breaks my heart to think that somebody that I would pass or that one of us would pass that needed to hear that, needed to hear it today, needed to give their life today, or needed to give their life and be baptized here in the next few weeks. And you could be that person to bring them. And it's very heartbreaking to think that we can miss those opportunities just because the devil put fear in our hearts.
So I want everybody to just understand this, that when you look at everybody on stage, there's some common denominators. Somebody invited them to church. Still true, over 80% of people that come, they come because somebody invited them. Secondly, every person on stage has come to faith in Jesus, become a follower of Christ since they came to the bridge. And all of them have gone through water's baptism, except Mackenzie, and that happens December 16th for her. Why don't you give them a great round of applause, would you? God bless y'all.